One important way the beef industry stimulates demand is through the work of the Beef Checkoff. The $1 per head checkoff is used to encourage consumers to buy more beef through initiatives such as consumer advertising, marketing partnerships, public relations, education, research, and new product development. We asked beef producers from across the country to share their thoughts on the value of the Beef Checkoff.
The Beef Checkoff is crucially vital to my operation because I'm not a communicator. I'm not a promoter. I'm not trained in that. I don't know how to get the word out there. And I've got my hands full just dealing with the day-to-day operations of the ranch.
So our state is able to take part in states with millions of people. So that checkoff dollar for advertising to tell people about the safety, the nutritionist, the wholesomeness of the beef is absolutely critical where that money is spent.
The Beef Checkoff is very important to our industry because it is one of the mechanisms that we can use to, help promote ourselves. Every other business that's out there has an advertising budget, and the Beef Checkoff is our advertising budget for all the individual producers around the country.
Beef Checkoff is important because it does give back to local ranchers. I was actually just in an emerging leaders luncheon, and one of the guys was talking about how they're giving back $11.91 back to ranchers. I mean, it's a really good program in place to make sure that we have money allocated to promoting beef.
The Beef Checkoff is important to us because being from a state that has a lot more people than cattle, it really helps us get the beef message out to all the people in our state, including big cities like Buffalo, Rochester, New York City, and it really, really helps us portray a good message for the beef industry and do a lot of educational information and things like that.
Here to talk more about the work of the Checkoff is Patti Brumbach. She's the Executive Director of the Washington State Beef Commission. Patti, how critical are the Beef Checkoff funds to the work you do in your state organizations?
Well, obviously, that's how our programs are paid for. With the $1 Beef Checkoff in Washington, it's $1.50. It's critical, but I would say it's more important to producers than it is to the program, right? I mean, because without the Beef Checkoff, over the past 35 years, we wouldn't have things, not only like the Beef is What's for Dinner campaign, but we wouldn't have things like the muscle profiling study that led to the flat iron steak. We wouldn't have really solid crisis management strategies that helped us through a lot of big issues over the years. We wouldn't have the solid foundational nutrition research that, honestly, if the Beef Checkoff doesn't fund that, nobody else is going to fund that. In fact, quite the opposite. A lot of people will be more than happy to fund research that puts beef in a negative position.
Absolutely.
So we have a special place for the beef industry in terms of making sure that beef is at the center of the plate through a wide variety of longstanding programs. Another one that comes to mind is the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Beef Quality Audit that really has led to the high quality product that consumers are enjoying today. So there's a lot of work that maybe isn't top of mind to producers, with regards to the Beef Checkoff, beyond television advertising or digital advertising with the Beef is What's for Dinner campaign, our very foundation is in the research arena and work that maybe producers don't see very often. And it's really done a lot to help us have a sustainable industry in the nation.
Absolutely. It's been so critical to this growth and demand we're seeing. And one of the programs that I hear is gaining some traction is this e-commerce marketing program. Tell us a little bit more about that and how you're executing that.
Right. One of the things that COVID did was cement e-commerce in terms of the way consumers are buying and purchasing food. And beef has to be a part of that game. If we're not there, even the senior citizens that learned, that were shut in during the COVID pandemic, learned to use e-commerce, and so it's here to stay. Yeah. And we've been really fortunate nationally and at the state level that we've delved into some programs like Chicory, whereby we can target consumers where they're at on a wide variety of apps that they're using to either do their grocery shopping or prepare their online shopping list with their local retailer. So that's kind of fun. I mean, Nationals developed e-commerce campaigns with Safeway and Albertsons and Walmart and the Kroger stores over the past year for both the holidays and for summer grilling. And then the Washington Beef Commission and many other state beef councils have taken that program and extended it to make sure that we get eyes on it in our own states. So e-commerce has been a big deal, and the results are very, very solid for beef.
Sustainability is obviously a critical topic for the beef industry, and you have some people that live in your state, namely Bill Gates, that have been pretty critical of the beef industry in terms of the impact cattle have on our climate. What are you doing to address some of these sustainability misperceptions, and how important is it to get producers involved in that process?
It's critical to have producers tell their stories, because when they do, they're so trustworthy with consumers. I mean, we've definitely been focusing on this for the last decade, I think, in terms of trying to tell the story and target Seattle area consumers with factual information about modern beef production. And we've started to see really positive response from our consumer tracking as a result of that. What we're learning is that we need to have producers tell the story, but be specific about some of the issues and concerns that people like Bill Gates or our anti-meat activists or even the alternative meat folks are saying about beef. We really have to be at the table and telling the other side of that story, that cattle are not, they're not the villains. They are they're actually going to save our planet someday because of the positive things that cattle and the environment, cattle can do for the environment. So that's what we're trying to say. Now we're trying to spin that to the proper direction and be able to share the science that we already have in place and our progress with sustainability and get to a place where consumers really do trust that message.
Well, you're in a spot with lots of beef consumers that drive lots of demand for our product, and so thank you for all you do to improve demand for the beef industry.
Thank you. Yep, it's great work.
Want to learn more about the state and national checkoff partnership and the Federation of State Beef Councils? Just visit the website ncba.org and click on the Federation link. And don't forget, cattlemen and women from across the U.S. will soon gather in Houston, Texas for the 2022 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. In addition to the networking and entertainment, there are valuable meetings where Beef Checkoff contractors provide important program updates. The convention runs from February 1st through the 3rd in Houston, Texas, and registration is now open. Go to convention.ncba.org for all the details on this can't-miss event.